رب العالمين.
I was, I guess strictly speaking, I was christened as a Presbyterian, but my parents were never very religious. I think my mother was before she got married, but my father certainly wasn't, and he seemed to bring her over to his side. I remember going to Sunday school as a kid, and going to church a couple of times with my grandmother for special occasions like Easter or Christmas or something, but that was about it really. In my high school years, I guess I was pretty firmly, I never really labelled myself as such, but I guess I was pretty much atheist. I didn't have any time for religion. Later on in life, in my 20s, I guess I sort of moved to agnostic. Started to realise, oh yeah, okay, there must be a greater power out there, something that's controlling what's going on, but I didn't really know what shape or form it took. And I was fairly convinced that there was none of the major religions in the world that I'd come across had, with the religion. I sort of managed to work out that there must be one true religion out there somewhere. I guess, yeah, later on in my 20s I started to decide perhaps I better start looking, trying to identify which one it is. I had Jehovah's Witnesses would come knocking on my door and I'd invite them in. I ended up developing quite a relationship with this young couple and their young son, and they would come and visit quite frequently. They were trying to lead me down the path of conversion to their way, but I sort of kept getting sidetracked, and they had these really cool books, all sorts of things. I remember reading one in particular that I got off their curriculum because they wanted me to follow this little book that would slowly work you towards, oh yes, I believe in being I want to be a Jehovah's Witness. But this other one compared creation with evolution, and it's probably the first time I'd really given it any sort of serious consideration. And the book was really good. It really impressed me. And by the end of reading that, I was convinced that there's no way we got here by chance or by fluke, that there was some plan to it, some design. So that was a big step for me. Then I was pretty firmly believed then that there was a God, and more firmly believed that there was a true religion out there. By that time I wasn't really sure it was Jehovah's Witness, but they had another book that I got onto as well. It compared all the major religions of the world, and I found that very interesting. And there was a chapter in there on Islam, and it's the first time I'd really read anything about Islam. Throughout my early years, I guess all the exposure I'd had to Islam was from the TV, the news media and whatnot. So I guess developed erroneously this concept that Islam must be something completely different to Christianity. Whatever Muslims believed in would be quite the opposite to Christian beliefs, because Christians and Muslims always seem to be at odds, seem to be fighting each other. So I was really impressed when I read the chapter on Islam, how many similarities there were. That was, I guess, the main thing that impressed me and struck me. And not only between Islam and Christianity, but also Islam and Judaism. Sort of ideas that I'd formed in my head already about what God might be like, or what I'd sort of developed a criteria, if you like, of what the true religion would be like. And some of those things were evident in what I read about Islam. I believe that, that the true religion would be fairly traditional in its beliefs. It might seem even odd to us today in the way they practice and stuck to their original teachings. So I kind of found that when I started to investigate Islam. I thought that these people really, it hasn't changed. And fairly soon after that period that I had an opportunity to travel overseas. So I guess I sort of focused on that for a while, and travelled to Japan, spent a year there, came back and spent another year, and kind of lost track of that couple, and sort of didn't really give it too much more thought, unfortunately. But went back to Japan for a second time, and I went to study in a Japanese language school there, and it was there that I actually met Muslims for the first time. There was a few of us international students that were studying at the school. We stayed in the little apartment block that the school had, and all manner of people from all over the world. There's a few of us Kiwis there and some Aussies and Canadian and so on and so forth. And there was a group of Indonesian girls that were studying at the school that were just 2 doors down from us. And because we all studied at the school and the students and young, we all sort of, there'd be someone would cook a dinner or something and invite others around. And so I always remember being impressed by the Indonesian girls, how so friendly they were, and how always welcoming us to join them for a meal at their house or whatever. And whenever we were there in the flat, if it was prayer time, they would stop. Everything would stop for them, and they would go to a corner and they would pray, perform the prayers. And it sort of struck me that it's quite amazing how just sort of everything just stops for them. It's prayer time, and they do it. And just other things, just how quiet they were. Just really polite and well mannered, and the flat was sparkly clean. Not like our ones. And their values seemed to be quite traditional, quite old-fashioned, and I thought that was cool as well. I used to jibe them a lot about various notable Muslim figures, world figures. I give them a ribbing about their friend Saddam Hussein or whoever the person of the moment was, and the response was always really brilliant. I thought they always responded that don't judge our religion, don't judge Islam by some of the people in it. You need to find out about it, So after they said that so many times, I thought, yeah, well, okay, that makes sense. I need to investigate a bit more. I was really keen at that stage to learn more by reading the Quran. And unfortunately, the only Quran that they had was an Arabic Indonesian translation, so that was absolutely no use to me. So with their help, we tracked down a mosque in Kobe, which was the nearest mosque to where we were staying. So travelled there, and I met 3 nice brothers, Muhammad, and Muhammad. Muhammad from Palestine, Muhammad from Pakistan, and Muhammad from Egypt. And I talked to those other brothers, and explained, that I was trying to learn more. They seemed a little bit sceptical of me at the start, but eventually I won them over, I guess, and one of the brothers lent me a copy of Abdullah Yusuf Ali's translation of the Quran, English-Arabic translation, yeah. So I took that away with me, and remember reading that, and remember being really taken aback by it. The book was, I guess admittedly it was quite difficult to read in places, first up, but I remember some of the passages were obviously quite beautiful. There's other passages that